Should you go to college? It's one of those life decisions that makes a huge difference over time. Has found a way to lift people up. It always has, as far back as we look. College has a way of lifting people up. Of course, there's the financial part. Statistically, if you receive a college education, you will earn hundreds of thousands of dollars more than if you did not graduate from college. Studies will say it is a $600,000 or $700,000 or $800,000 difference over your life. College helps your financial future. But that's not all. Going to college makes you live longer, on average by 7 years. Much less likely to smoke. Less likely to go to prison. Less likely to be divorced. More likely to be happy. More likely to give back to your community. College matters in profound ways. Always has. Sometimes I hear the argument that college is outdated, no longer as important. Sometimes people talk about the brokenness of college as a reason not to go. It's too expensive. And it is. It's not the most relevant content anymore. And that can be true. College is not perfect. But let's not forget the opportunity of school. The impact of school that is so clear to those who don't have the choice. People become critical because they can't draw a straight line between college and the job they want, or the business they dream of starting. They can't see that straight line. But when does life ever work in straight lines? Sometimes reading between the lines is most important. Sometimes looking between the lines tells a much different story. That's where we learn that life happens with twists and missteps and turns and false starts. We come to understand that life is not clear-cut. So why do we expect our schools to be? Is our post-secondary system a little broken? Sure. But does that mean it is not valuable or that it is not important? We need to be careful with that answer. You should be careful with that answer. Now let's assume for a moment that you are choosing whether or not to go to college. Let's assume you are thinking about starting a business, investing your time, money, and energy somewhere else. Perhaps what you really want to do in life does not require a formal education, so you feel like you need to make a choice. Go to school, take the obvious route. Or start to pour your dreams and your energy and your time into something else. My take? Do both. Start a race. Let one win. Because it ultimately becomes the better option for your life. Go to college, and while you're doing it, start the thing you dream. Commit to them at the same time. Most likely something profound will happen. You'll learn something that helps your dream unfold. If you stay focused on your ultimate goal, college won't slow you down. Instead, when life proves it does not happen in straight lines, you will be ready because you've been reading between the lines for years. Like I said, I'm not sure if college is right for you or not. I'm not sure what your life has in store for you. But when we think about our best lives, yours, mine, our communities, I know that college matters. Many people think college has lost its value. I recently watched a video. It went viral, featuring snippets from billionaires like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg that was being shaped to try to prove exactly that point. But here's the thing. We forget that Elon Musk has 2 bachelor degrees, and when he was 24, He was working on his PhD in applied physics and material science at Stanford. That was his foundation when he started his first company. Mark Zuckerberg launched Facebook from his Harvard dorm. Bill Gates also went to Harvard, where he met another student, Steve Ballmer. Sure, Gates dropped out, and Ballmer finished college and took over as CEO of Microsoft for 14 years. What do these stories have in common? These incredibly successful people did both. They went to university and pursued other interests. That for them was starting successful tech businesses. Now, what if you want to work for one of these rapidly growing tech companies? SpaceX, Microsoft, or Facebook? More often than not, you need to have a degree. What if you want to become a doctor or a surgeon and save lives? A lawyer, an engineer, an architect? The answer is clear. If you're sitting there wondering if college is worth it, we've all had to work through those questions. And it's up to you to decide. Then you make your path work. About a year ago, I was in a slum in India, meeting a family that was excited about their future. They were improving their lives. And as a result, they had 2 young girls who could go to school. These 2 girls were top of their class. You could feel their excitement. You could see it in their eyes. They had big smiles and big dreams. Before we left this family's home, however, they asked us to meet their friends, who had a much different story. They were caught in a bad place, trying desperately to make things better, but needing to live one day at a time. Once again, you could see it in their eyes. We met their daughter, who had to stay home to help the family. She'd had to leave school far too early, and you could tell she was smart. The implications of her situation, she understood what it meant. And what was her dream? To go back to school. Because she knows school matters. So here's one of the ways I like to think about this. When you graduate from school, it's like you walk into a forest of a million trees, and every tree is a different job. And you have no idea what the right tree is for you. You've never had to make that choice before. So you find the tree that makes most sense. Maybe it's the tree that's like giving you a leg up, and you start to climb. And statistically, more likely than not, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get a couple years up that tree. You're going to climb a little bit up, and you're going to start to realize, I don't like this tree very much. And you look up and you see your boss's job, and you don't like their job. So you think you have 3 options. You think you can either just keep climbing and hope that things get better. You think that you can climb down, go over another tree, and start climbing again. Or you can just hang on for dear life. And what most people do is they just hang on. And if you climb down and start again, we actually know that problems start to form in that regard, in 2 ways. Number 1, as you've climbed up the trunk of your first tree, your life has started to cost a little bit more. Your bills are higher, you're probably earning a little bit more, and so very quickly your life starts to get squeezed by its economics. So you actually don't have the option to climb down that tree and start again. That's the first problem. Second problem is, if you keep doing that over and over and over again, hoping that the next tree you find is going to be the one that feels right, you actually start to lose traction in your career, which can have a major impact long term. Those 3 options are the way we think about work when we only think in straight lines. But there's actually a 4th option that exists, and that's starting to create your own branch from the trunk that you're on. To find that thing that's interesting you about work, that matches your abilities to the needs of someone else, and you start to find a way to make that happen more and more and more. That way of thinking, that way of creating your own solution, it requires you to have an open mind. It requires you to have explored things that don't necessarily add up to the answer that makes immediate sense. That's what I think is the gift of school. It's the gift of college, is that it forces you to learn in ways that you can't see where it's going. It forces you to make sense of problems that don't have an immediate answer. But by keeping an open mind and thinking about things differently, you start to create a different path. And that's where I think we need to be careful about the choices we make about school, is that we want to see it all add up. We want to have clarity going in. We want to know that this is going to impact our life in a way that we can see it in advance. It just doesn't happen that way. But that doesn't mean it's not important. In fact, the fact that it's got some troubles involved in it is exactly the reason that it becomes important. Like I said, I do believe college matters. Whether or not you choose to go to college, having problem solving, critical thinking, and logical reasoning skills are important for everything you do in life. An incredible place where you can learn these invaluable skills is at Brilliant.Org. Brilliant is a problem-solving website with interesting and engaging puzzles in logic, physics, math, and computer science. Brilliant helps motivated people like you to build upon their skills and discover the resources that they need to succeed in whatever career path they choose. Want to master the fundamentals of probability? They've got it. The physics of everyday life? Yep. What about the rapidly growing fields of machine learning and solar energy? They're there. As you understand these concepts, you will be further excited and motivated to learn. This is the kind of thing I wish I'd had when I was a university student. There's even a worldwide community of eager learners that will help encourage you to keep striving. That's the kind of way you stay motivated. If you want to get further inspired, go to brilliant.org/motivation to study and sign up for free. Want to take it to the next level? The first 200 people that go to that link will get 20% off the annual premium subscription. Thanks for watching our video on motivation to study. Don't forget to subscribe for a new video every Sunday. I'm Tyler Waye, and if you want to stay motivated with your work, follow me on my channel, Tyler Waye on Inspired Work.